Hello guys, Adrian Clarke here. This is the breakdown. Thank you so much for joining me. It's time to analyse Arsenal's 3-0 win at home to Sunderland. A really calm performance, I thought, really professional. The team got the job done against really awkward game opponents. Sunderland are a decent team, trust me, but Arsenal made this a routine victory. I thought that Mikel Arteta's subs were really important. He timed them perfectly just before the hour mark, and it helped the team go through the gears. And look, no matter what Manchester City do or Aston Villa or all those teams behind, it's about Arsenal now. It's about ticking off these victories, and it's about killing the vibe, really, in terms of the title race. And the best way to do that is to concentrate on our own job and get these 3-point hauls in the bag. And this was one of those. Arsenal just need to replicate this week in, week out between now and the end of the season, and everything will be fine. In terms of the tactics of the game, it's a slightly different look to the Arsenal side, I thought, in the game. Kai Havertz played virtually as a striker. A support striker is probably the best turn of phrase. So it was as close to a 4-4-2 as I've seen Arsenal for quite some time, actually. He played really high, and I think that this was deliberate. You can look at the possession stats, and Arsenal had under 50% of the ball at home to Sunderland, and no one really would have thought that ahead of the game. But I think the thinking behind it was that Sunderland, when they do go onto the front foot, they like to commit players forward. And for me, Mikel Arteta knew that and was keen to pick them off on the break. He knew they'd pack the defence if we pinned them in. So he didn't want that to be the pattern of the game. He wanted a little bit more variety, and we definitely saw that. Of course, we did put pressure on them inside the final third, but there was also a lot of times where fast breaks caught Sunderland out, and we'll get to that a little bit later. We didn't make many passes. Obviously, not having an Eza or an Ødegaard in the starting 11 meant that we kind of missed out a few passes, and we went back to front a bit faster. I think there was 389 passes in this game from Arsenal. It's our fourth lowest of the season so far, and I don't think people would have expected that at home to Sunderland. At the cornerstone of this victory with a central midfield unit, and I think if we are going to play a 4-4-2 of sorts, we've got this. You need a central midfielder you can trust, a central midfielder that can do a bit of everything with and without the ball. And I don't think there's any doubt that Declan Rice and Martin Zubimendi can do that. And I thought with and without the ball, they were terrific in the game. If we look at their pass maps, they're basically mirror images of one another, which tells you that this was a classic pairing. There was none of this one holding two either side. This was a two that kind of took turns to go and raid forward and to sit. Let's have a look at those now. Here's Martin Zubimendi's pass map from the game, and as you can see, he's to the right of that central midfield unit. Got forward plenty. It's a really balanced performance from him. Box to box roll from Martin Zubimendi. He only misplaced 4 passes in the entire game. He was really secure in possession. And it was an excellent performance from Martin. If we flip it to Declan Rice, it's like I say, it's the mirror image really. Declan Rice just doing the same role, but on the left of the centre. Again, he gets forward plenty as you'd expect from Declan Rice. And it was another really strong performance from him. 4 interceptions in the game. I thought he read the play quite magnificently, and of course he'll always drive forward with the ball, won't he? Which is so important to this team, and I thought he did it excellently in the game. Right, let's look at some of the key moments, shall we? I think this is really important. There's a lovely pattern. I love patterns on the breakdown, and we saw a clear pattern in this game, and I want to highlight and explain what that pattern was. So cast your mind back to the Declan Rice curler just past the top corner. Really terrific effort. Right, now how did he get so much space? Let's take a closer look. Right, here we go. I've circled the guys in the edge of the box there. We've got 4 players against 4 inside the box. So loads of defenders are occupied. You've got that other defender that's looking at Martin Zubimendi, who's been sort of drawn forward. And then you've got Calafiori so high on the inside there. He's taken a defender with him as well, which all in all means that there just aren't enough blue shirts back to look after the players that we've got inside the final third. Now, there was a central midfielder with Declan Rice as the play built up, but he got drawn to Trossard. because he's thinking, I don't want to leave the right back 1v1 against Trossard. So he edges towards him to provide a bit of cover, and that means that Declan Rice is the spare man. Everyone else is being marked by a Sunderland player, so he is the spare man, and that's exactly what we want, and he curls it just past the post. Now, let's flip it onto the goal itself, and as you'll see, it's pretty much a carbon copy. It's open play, but we've really committed a lot of players forward. Again, you've got Calafiori in there, you've got Timber right in there, and there are so many red and white shirts inside the box being marked by Sunderland players. And you've got the same scenario, the exact same scenario there, where Trossard gets it, the central midfielder's thinking, right, I need to get across and cover him, otherwise he's going to go past him. So he doubles up on Trossard. It means that Zubimendi this time is the spare player. And the setback from Trossard is perfect because it allows Zubimendi to come onto the ball and hit it first time. And it was a technically brilliant strike, wasn't it? Cut across the ball, little bit of swaz on it. It spins off the outside of his boot, in off the post. It always looks better, doesn't it, when it kisses the inside of the post. It was a beautiful goal. But as you can see, it was not by chance. We set up these situations where there was they had to double up on the winger, which left the man on the inside spare. And if that's Rice or Zubimendi, I think it's happy days for Arsenal. By the way, that's 8 goals now from outside the box this season from the Gunners. Only Villa and Bournemouth have scored more. So it's becoming an increasing part of our armoury, shots from outside the box, and we're getting much, much better at it. Right, let's look at some of the other good play from the game. I think this is the build up to the second goal that I want to start with here. I thought Trossard was great in the game, by the way. I thought he was really busy, popped up here and there and everywhere, and he was always willing to play that progressive pass. He was always willing to take a risk, and we saw that in the build up to the crucial second goal scored by Victor Gyökeres. Let's start it here, shall we, where he's on the left-hand side and he tries to feed a really clever, precise through ball into Havertz, and it's really well defended, actually. The defender gets across and he makes an interception, but it's a nice idea. Now, from what happens then is we pin them in. It's a great press, and it's led by Declan Rice. As you can see here, he goes to close down. We set up a 3v3. We won't let them out, okay? And that's really, really important because that's a big part of our game. The 3v3 puts the pressure on. They hoof it clear straight to Leandro Trossard. And then as we wind it on again, has he been put off by the fact that his last pass was cut out? Absolutely not. He's willing to take that progressive, risky pass on. He slides it between defenders for Havertz. And there you see Gyökeres has got himself some space in the box. And we all know what happened. He does ever so well. Kai Havertz sets it for him. And as the first touch from Victor is terrific. But then he sort of falls over. But the way that he sort of bulldozes the ball into the goal was really good. And it sort of summed up Victor Gyökeres as a striker. And, it's a really, really good moment for him. I've got another good example here. I often talk about this horseshoe of doom, or whatever we call it. And we're going to see that every time Arsenal play at times. We're going to move it from left to right, from right to left. Because teams, we have to wear them down. It's just part of what we're going to have to do. But the key really is to come up with different angles and to just be a little bit less predictable. And there was one moment in the second half, you might remember it, when Eza breaks into the box to have a shot. That was the moment that told me we're learning. We're starting to make progress here. We can come up with different ways to break down those low blocks. And it's really, really important that you come up with a different angle. And sometimes that means making a run from deep. This is the example. So I've frozen it here. We move the ball from right to left in that sort of horseshoe shape. It comes across the pitch to Declan Rice. Now, in the red arrow is the pass that we often make. We go out to the winger, and then they go and have a run at the defender, which is absolutely fine. On this occasion, I've circled the 3 guys in the box there. You got Gyökeres in there, you got Havertz in there, you got one other, and they are occupying the centre halves, and that is really important here because they've clustered. And have they clustered on purpose? I think so. I think they've stood there deliberately to bring 3 blue shirts together in an enclosed area. The right back's got to come out and look after Martinelli, and it leaves a gorgeous little inviting hole. And Declan Rice urges Eza to make the run. Eza makes that run. It's a great pass. It's a really good attempt on goal from Eberechi Eze. That is how you do it. Little moments like that. It's like, can we just get a little cluster of defenders out of the middle to leave a space for somebody else to come from deep? And that, I thought that was really intelligent play from Arsenal. I've been a little bit critical of Arsenal's left-hand side, haven't I, in recent weeks? I think everything's come down the right. Haven't made progress down the left. Well, this game was different. Much better. I thought Trossard was great, as I said, and maybe Calafiori's inclusion, even though he didn't have the best game himself, I think he's sort of wild card nature upset the equilibrium, and it drags people with him, and it creates more space. If we look at our key pass map from the game, and our key, we made a lot of key passes in the game. We created lots of chances. Look at this, loads down the left, and that hasn't been the case lately. Lots and lots of situations where we get down the left, we cut the ball back. Just the one from the right wing, and that was Trossard. Inside 25 seconds, you remember, he gets involved, keeps it in, and dinks across to the far post to Kai Havertz. Here's the shot map, just for in case any of you guys wanted to see whether this was absolutely deserved. Well, just look at the shot count there. Look at Sunderland's attempts. Not a lot there, is there? The number 7 Taubi had a shot that drew a save from David Raya, but look, we've peppered their goal, haven't we? And we absolutely deserve to win by 3-0. As I said earlier, we sort of sacrificed passes in this game and a little bit of territory. We allowed Sunderland to keep the ball, to come at us in order to then have space to go and charge at them on the break, because they do commit bodies forward. And I think it was a really, really sensible ploy. It wasn't by chance that we had less possession than normal, and loads of our best moments in this game came from counters. One of them was that Kai Havertz attack. I think it came from a free kick they hoofed into the box that we then, I think it came to Raya, who threw it to Kai Havertz, and as we pick it up here, he's run 50, 60 yards. They've all backed off him, and he curls it just wide at the post. Really terrific effort. There was another one from a wide free kick where we clear our lines, we pick up the second ball. And this here, I'm going to pause it here because Trossard gets the ball. He picks up that second ball. Havertz is on the move already. He senses the fast break is on. And look at Jesus to the right of the picture. He's already on the move. Trossard hasn't even made the pass to Havertz yet, but Jesus is off. He sees exactly what's happening. They've committed 3 players above the halfway line. That counter-attack is on. So Trossard slips it to Havertz. Havertz plays it one touch. And look at that. Look how close it is. If it's feet that count in terms of offside, Jesus is onside. He rounds the keeper. He draws a foul from Ballard. He doesn't play the ball, Ballard. It's a penalty. It's a red card. It's game over. But just the lean of the body, isn't it, that means that Jesus is offside. It's very, very unfortunate. Of course, the third goal right at the end of the game, where Sunderland are thrown men forward. Again, I think it is a free kick that we then half clear. And Christian Yorgel, he hooks the ball clear to Gabriel Martinelli. And there's no one better at Arsenal, maybe no one better in the Premier League at these kind of moments, these little breakaways. He gets to there before the defender, doesn't he? As we can see here, it's looped clear, hit the bouncing ball, and it's a brilliant touch to take it over the defender, to race clear. And then it was very unselfish, wasn't it, to set up Victor Gyökeres. Now, what I want to highlight here is Victor Gyökeres. I can't really do it without showing the video, but the truth is, Victor Gyökeres adjusts his stride pattern quite superbly. Just slows down at the right moment, shortens his stride, does sort of tippy-tappy motion to just make sure he stays behind the ball. It's very, very intelligent play from Victor Gyökeres to make sure he's not offside. And then Martinelli, it's the right call to just slip him in, and of course he rounds it off. And look, that means that Victor Gyökeres, since the turn of the year, has got 6 Premier League goals. That's more. He's got 6 goals in all competitions, rather. That's more than any other player in the Premier League. So he is the man in form in 2026, Victor Gyökeres. And Martinelli was only too happy to be the guy that supplied him with his second. So, we've talked a lot about Victor Gyökeres. Could he be that finisher, that guy that comes off the bench when defenders are tiring or when games get stretched to fill his boots? Well, he did. He filled his boots, didn't he, with a lovely little brace in this game, and it was a nice victory. So yeah, lovely. Loads and loads of positives. And we march on. Right, let's end with some player ratings. I'll start with David Raya as always. I'm going to give him a 6. Did make one good save low to his left. It was a bit shaky. He dropped one cross, didn't he? There was another incident where he was a little bit flappy. So yeah, but maybe not his best game, but he still gets 6, which is okay. Timber, Saliba, and Gabriel, I thought were really solid. No fuss, good performances. Looked after the ball. Really, really good performances from all of them. No fuss at all from those guys. No mistakes. Calafiori, I'm going to just mark down to a 6. I think gave too many fouls away. Looked a bit rusty again. He's just not quite back in the groove. His presence helps the team. And it definitely helps cause more chaos down the left. And it did in this game. But in terms of his own contributions, it was just okay. So he's a 6. Zubimendi's my star man at 8. I thought he was outstanding. Only 4 misplaced passes in the game. 3 interceptions. Great goal. He was quality. Declan Rice is about that much behind him. A fraction. He also gets an 8. Great drive. Great reading of the game. Terrific performance. Madueke for me on the right. Wasn't his best game. I'm gonna just a 6. So for him. Didn't make the most of his opportunity. Flip it over to the left side. Trossard did. He was excellent. He was a real live wire. Great to watch. Really entertaining. I'm going to give Trossard an 8. I thought it was one of his best performances for a while. And then up top, Havertz for me as the support striker was terrific. Played his part in the goal. Great assist for Gyökeres. Always involved. 7. Jesus, not so good. He was unlucky, obviously, with that moment where he runs through offside. But he was okay, but he didn't impact the game maybe in the way that he would have wished. So he gets a 6 from me. The subs were great. I thought all the subs came on and made a positive difference. If we go sort of in reverse order, Njorg came on and did fine. I'll give him a 7. He played a part in that last goal. Eze was good when he came on, so a couple of really good driving runs. He was forceful. He was positive. I thought he looked sharp actually. Eze late on. Gyökeres has to be an 8. Comes on and gets himself a brace. Really, and I thought his hold-up play was terrific as well. Really, he's getting more confident. You can see it coursing through his veins. He feels part of this team now. It was lovely to see. So 8 for him, and Martinelli's a definite 7 as well. Magnificent for that last goal, and I like him on the right. Tucked in a little bit, making those driving runs, joining in as a support striker himself. I think the right side suits him, and for me at Brentford, I'm tempted to go with Martinelli from the start in place of Madueke, but we'll see. We'll see what the manager does. As for the manager, Mikel Arteta, yeah, good, really good from him. Little tweaks here and there in terms of the tactics. He nailed it. It's another clean sheet win. Timed his subs brilliantly. I think he nailed it from beginning to end. So it's good, solid 8 for Mikel Arteta. And we march on. And look, it's frustrating that City, from 1-0 down, go and beat Liverpool. Maybe a bit fortunate to do so. But look, fair play to them for getting the win and for keeping things, interesting at the top of the table. But from my end, I don't think Arsenal supporters should get too preoccupied by what City are doing, what other teams are doing. It's all about us. And if we produce performances like we did against Sunderland, we'll be just fine. And hopefully that's what we'll see at Brentford on Thursday night. I'll be back on Friday to break that one down. So from me, for now, it is goodbye. I'll see you soon.